If you've ever scrolled through the deep, dark abyss of streaming culture and thought, this should be an anime,
Hmm.
then you might want to clear your schedule.
Oh, yeah.
The hit video game Needy Girl Overdose, or Needy Streamer Overload if you're in the West, is officially getting an anime.
And what's really fascinating here isn't just that it's happening, but how they're doing it. The creative team they've pulled together it's very specific.
It really is. It feels like a statement.
Right, because this might be one of the hardest games to adapt structurally. You're trying to turn this volatile, management-heavy game about chaos and digital identity into a linear show.
Yeah.
So the staff they picked, it's not just about finding good people, it's about finding the right people who can actually handle that kind of psychological energy.
Okay, so let's unpack this. For this deep dive, our mission is to look at the details, which are huge, but also to analyze the strategy here. Why this director? Why this studio? We need to understand the game's core appeal, which is unsettling, to say the least, and why these choices pretty much guarantee this is more than just a cash grab.
For sure. So the big news first. It's locked in for the spring 2026 anime season.
April 2026. Get ready.
And this isn't just a rumor. It's confirmed, came straight from the official X account for the developers, Zmono and WSS Playground.
And they immediately launched an official website, too, right? With a trailer and visuals.
They did. Dropped a teaser trailer and key visuals of the protagonist, OMGkawaiiAngel. I mean, to come out of the gate with such a high-quality package, it tells you they're extremely confident in how this thing looks.
And they have every reason to be.
Yeah.
That confidence is built on a massive, massive foundation of success. This isn't some niche game getting a small show.
Oh, not at all. The source material is a cultural juggernaut. You're looking at a game with over 3 million downloads.
Which is already huge.
It is, but this is the metric that really gets me. The music, the soundtrack, has over 400 million streams. The fan base is not only huge, but it's incredibly dedicated. And they're going to expect the anime to have that exact same sharp, almost painful authenticity.
Okay, so for anyone who hasn't played it, here's where it gets really interesting. The whole premise is this really dark satire hiding under a neon pink kawaii aesthetic. It's about this young woman whose online persona is OMGkawaiiAngel, the internet angel. But the story itself is all about the pressures of streaming, identity crisis, and a really volatile mental state. It's all driven by this, what the sources call an insatiable thirst for approval.
And as the player, you're forced to manage that duality. You're basically her producer, her manager. You navigate her daily life, trying to grow her streaming career,
right,
while also managing her mental health. You're dealing with her stress, her breakdowns, and you explore these stress relief activities, which are often pretty questionable.
It's a total tightrope walk.
Okay.
And there's so many different endings, a lot of them incredibly grim. And that really is the core of the challenge for the anime, isn't it? The whole emotional weight of the game comes from you, the player, making those choices.
Yeah, the active management.
So how does a linear story, an anime, possibly capture that same feeling, that sense of high-stakes, chaotic, emotional whiplash when you're just watching?
That is the million-dollar question. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it seems like every single choice they've made for the staff is aimed at solving that exact problem.
Okay, so let's talk about the leadership. Who did they get to steer this ship?
They went with director Masaoki Nakashima, and he's helming the project at Yostar Pictures. Now, Yostar is known for its signature animation style, but Nakashima's resume is the real tell here. He's known for his work on the new Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt.
And that is a huge piece of context. Panty and Stocking is famous for being like hyper-stylized, over-the-top, just breakneck pacing.
Exactly. So that tells us right away they aren't planning some quiet, reserved adaptation. They want that same frenetic, almost satirical energy that defined the game.
It shows they're not afraid of controversial themes or, high visual volume.
For sure. And to keep the original fans happy, the original creative voices are still heavily involved. Niaura, the original writer, is penning the narrative for the anime.
Okay, that's crucial.
And Ohisa Shibori, who did the original character designs, is also on board. Their presence is basically a guarantee that the show will keep its core voice.
And when you look at the visuals, that high standard is reflected all the way down the staff list. It's not enough to just have the original designer's name on it.
Right.
You need a whole team that can actually execute that very specific neon-drenched look.
And that's what they've got. The character designs are being handled by a team: Kenji Saikai, Akari Takai, and Kaito Shimizu. But even more critically, you have Ryuta Hayashi as art director and Nato Kondo as the color designer.
And that color designer role feels massive for this project.
It is. The game's whole vibe relies on that unique, oversaturated, almost sickly sweet color palette to contrast the digital world with her reality. You need a specialist to get that right.
It really sounds like they're treating this like a prestige visual project. So what about the more technical roles? The people who have to translate all those game UI elements into an anime?
This is where you can really see their strategy. A game like this is full of pop-ups, chat streams, status bars, all things that need to be animated. And that's why they specifically named 3 dedicated 3D artists.
3.
3. Kaoru Marimoto, Yumi Sakai, and Daisuke Kitano. That kind of headcount for 3D on a TV anime suggests they're going all in on integrating those graphical overlays smoothly into the animation. It's vital for that feeling of always being online.
Right, that constant surveillance and engagement.
Precisely. They're also using animation techniques from a group called OTOTU, and the commitment even extends to post-production, which is rare to announce this early. You've got Kisuke Yanagi as the editor and Wu Jianhong as the cinematographer.
A cinematographer for an anime that signals they're really thinking about framing, lighting, and polish on a whole other level.
It treats every episode like a mini feature film visually.
Okay, so moving from the visuals to the sound. The soundtrack, like you said, with those 400 million streams, is absolutely non-negotiable. The music is the emotional landscape of this game.
It has to have that mix of like synth pop euphoria with this undercurrent of total anxiety.
Yeah.
So the anime soundtrack is being done by a collaboration. You have Ioban plus 81, Sasuke Haraguchi, and Day Mouse. That's a killer lineup that guarantees they're leaning into that high-energy digital sound.
And the detail goes even deeper,
Wow.
down to the sound effects, right?
Yeah.
Capturing her emotional swings.
It does. Sound production is being handled by BitGroove Promotion. And get this, their specific directive is to make sure, and I'm quoting here, every scream of delight or dismay from our heroine is perfectly captured.
Why?
That specialized focus is so key because her entire character is defined by that volatility. The sound team has to deliver that emotional whiplash perfectly.
It's all so clear. They've staffed this with people who get it. They know the style, the visuals, the sound. It all has to work together to replace the interactivity that you lose. They're betting that sheer sensory overload can replicate that chaotic feeling.
They're not trying to just retell a management sim. I think they're trying to expand the universe through pure dynamism. Having the original creators there, plus a director like Nakashima, it suggests they're prioritizing the emotional truth and the satire over just, plotting out a perfect run of the game.
So what does this all mean then? I mean, the adaptation seems perfectly set up to capture that emotional roller coaster that fans love.
For sure.
But I think more importantly, the very strategic staffing, from the director to the specialized 3D team, it tells us they have a serious plan to overcome that huge challenge of telling this story in a linear way. This isn't just an anime. It feels like a high production value expansion of a digital phenomenon.
And this raises a really important question for you to think about. The game worked so well because it made you, the player, complicit in her chaotic search for validation. You were clicking the buttons.
Right. You were responsible.
Exactly. So how can a linear anime make you empathize with the internet angel in the same way when you can no longer influence her destiny? Will just watching from a distance make it harder to connect? Or will the sheer quality of the animation and the storytelling be enough to overcome that lack of agency?
That is the challenge for 2026. And a fantastic thought to leave you with. For now, keep your feeds posted for more updates. We'll be doing the same to make sure you stay informed on this incredibly exciting and very high-stakes adaptation.